Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having an awesome weekend and that you find time over weekends to refill that cup or that bucket so that you can continue to serve at a high level. So I was just, as I'm prepping for the Live Without Limits workshop, I was going through my week in my chiropractic practice, and one comment, I have a lot of comments that stick out and tons of miracles that I see every day and every week. But this gentleman says, by the way, I am 100% pain free. And I'm not very filtered or censored. And I screamed. And then it got me thinking to all the other stories that I hear, that I witness, that I see the progress in, but the stories in our minds that could never happen is the scariest. So the story that we tell ourselves, or the story that we've experienced already, or the story that we grew up with, that we learned and heard from our parents and our caretakers, that, and I'm just talking about pain today, but that you could never be pain-free unless you take something for that, or unless you do so on and so forth. But is there, like, what would life be like if you didn't have pain? What would open up? What could be possible? Talk about the possibility barrier. I did a podcast on this, I don't remember, a few weeks ago. But I talked about the possibility barrier. Like, what is interfering between you right now and the results that you want to get? What is interfering with how you're living right now, and what could be possible? Like, do you shut your brain down because you're like, oh my gosh, I've spent 30 years trying to find solutions for this, or I've done this and this and this and nothing has worked, so I guess this is just how it's supposed to be. Or, hey, my friend says she struggles with this too, or my doctor says this is normal when you turn 30. Whatever it is, what is that limit in your mind first? How is pain interfering with your life? What if it didn't need to be part of your life? What if when you had it, it was telling you something, that body signals was clear, that you would be like, okay, this is telling me that I'm really stressed out in my relationship with XYZ, or I need to move my body a little bit more, or I didn't realize how much pressure I was carrying from going to work, whatever it is. How we think and how we feel sits in our body. And many times we don't listen until there's pain. And that's only 4 to 6% of what the brain is telling the body. What if you didn't have a limitation in how your body felt? What if you didn't have pain? Could that be a thing? Could you start to think in your mind about what that could be like, instead of doubt that it could happen? That's what I recommend first. Never stop being solution oriented. Always continue to follow the carrot. Always continue to improve yourself. Always continue to learn. And that one thing might not be the one thing right now, but eventually it becomes more clarity in how you want to live. Things start to open up. You start to see different things. That's the possibility barrier. You start to experience it. And when you experience it, it becomes evident. Once we unsee it and when we feel it, we can't unsee it. Did I say unsee the first time? Once we see it, once we feel it, we can't unsee. We can't unfeel it. That's why it's so important to feel what things are like. So that comment from him on Thursday after his adjustment, I was like, oh my gosh. He went from being miserable in his job, not being able to sleep in his bed with his wife, obviously being irritated and agitated when he got home because he was in so much pain. He was looking at quitting that job so that he could maybe start to do something on his own that would be less hard on his body. And keep in mind, he's 40, right? So already starting to pivot because he didn't think his body could do it, didn't think his mind could do it, didn't think there was any hope. When there's hope, when there's a will, there's a way. have an ounce of hope and never stop looking for the solution. Whether that's chiropractic, whether whatever it is, whatever solution you're looking for, be very, very clear on how life could be if you didn't have that limit. We're going to dive into this 5 days straight, all about limits. This one was about health. That's the stuff I see every day, all day. But in the bigger sense of it, it's how do you want to live? How do you want your life to be? Where are there limits that are holding you back from what you even could experience? Like not even on your radar. What are those things? Because when we give our permission to dream a little bit and go a little bit further than just our day in, day out hamster wheel that we might not be that impressed with, we start to open up our blinders and see what's actually possible. And when we can see what's possible, we start to see ourselves in that story, even if we don't know how. But the faith has to come first, the hope has to come first, and the continual persistence to find a solution that'll fit your life better than where you're at right now. So happy Saturday. I hope you, I was going to say, I hope this gives you some hope. That's a weird sentence, but I hope this maybe just shifts your blinders a little bit on that you might not need to settle. What if you don't need to settle in the life, in the body that you're in right now? What if it could be better? And what if you deserved it to be better? Because that's where magic happens. Bye, guys. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. Make sure